So first, today we're going to create a roof here, and then when you have tilted beams, you have to use the same option to create the roofs. Every time we have two tilted beams like that, and we have a roof that it's not flat, then we have to create this option. Okay, so in this case, it's a plane, so roof by extrusion works, but here roof by extrusion doesn't work. So what do we have to use? We have to use massing and site, and we have to start creating an in-place mass. Okay, so we're going to create an in-place mass, close, but we need to know where we are, because we have to create a mass in this beam, then a line in this beam, then we have to create another line on that beam, and then we have to connect them, and Revit will create this mass. So first, we need to know the where we are. So I'm going to open level 15 because I need to see these grid lines. Okay, so I'm going to work in this grid line A0 and in the grid line A. If you have different names or different numbers, I don't mind. But in this drawing, we have A0 and we have A. So now we go back to the 3D view. So this beam, it's on the A0 grid, and this is on the A grid. So I have to set the work plane first. You see that the placement plane here, it has to be A0, this one. And now I have to select this line on that beam. Okay, if I can select the midline here, better, you see that it's highlighted. So I select this one. And then I have to change the work plane. And now I have to select grid A. And now select this line here in the middle. That's grid A. Okay, so now we have this line on grid A0. We have this line on grid A. I click modify, I select both lines. It's important that I select both lines because if we don't do this, it won't work. And now you see that we have this option, create form. So we have to create a solid form. And we finish the mass. And you see that we have created a shape, a mass. You see that this is not transparent anymore. So there's a mass we can't see because, well, it's there, okay? So at some point, yeah, so you see that this is a mass, and we can click here and select it, okay? So here we have this mass, and we can select it. Like, well, sometimes if you can't select, you can always select everything, filter, and here, if you select only mass, you select the mass. So now we have to turn that mass into a roof. And that's very easy. Remember that I think we have created the roof. If we click on the roof, we have created this basketball roof. If we edit type and we edit the structure, we see that it's a sandwich panel with aluminum, rigid insulation, and aluminum. Okay, so it's something very basic, but we have already created that. And what am I doing? Okay, I go to massing and site, and now I select roof by face. And now you can select the mass. If you click here, and then click create roof, now we have created that roof here. The problem is that we have created a roof that goes down, but I want a roof that it's above all the beam systems, okay? So I have to select the roof. Now I have a lot of things. I have a beam, I have beam systems, I have a mass, I have a roof. So there are a lot of things on the same, yeah, here. we have a lot of things. So I'm going to select everything and I'm going to filter, and you see that we have mass, we have the structural framing, the structural beam, the roof. I just want to select the roof. Apply, okay? So that's the roof. And I want to move the roof, if it's a 6-inch roof, so I want to move it 6 inches up. So you see that we are on level whatever, and level offset, it's gonna be 6 inches. Okay, so now I have moved that roof up, and that's perfect because I can see the beam system. And at the top, I have the roof, and it's at the right level. Okay, I'm going to do it again here. So we have this roof. It's again, it's this beam, it's on grid A0, and this beam, it's on grid A. So I have to do the same thing. So let's go to massing and site, in place mass, and this is mass 3, okay? And now we have to set the work plane first at level grid A0, because I'm going to pick first that beam that is on grid A0. Now I have to select pick lines. I have to pick the line that it's here on that beam. So I select this line. Now I have to change the work plane again. I have to select grid A. I pick lines again. And now I select this beam here. Okay, I click modify because now I have to select both lines. You see that I have a line here, this one, and I have another line there. So I have to select both. Click here, control, click there, and I have both lines selected. Now I create a solid form and finish the mass. Well, what's wrong here? Okay, look at this. I don't want that because probably this beam is continuous. Okay, so I'm going to edit in place. I want to select the mass and edit profile. Yeah, the problem is that this line here, it's a continuous beam, and well, it doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to fix it from the beginning. So I'm going to undo, and I'm going to do it again. Cancel mass. I don't know if it happened to you. If you have beams that are not continuous, this will not happen. Here it doesn't happen, okay? But here it does. So let's fix it from the beginning. Okay, massing and site, in place mass, set the work plane, grid A0, pick line, and we have to pick this line here. Okay, that works, and that line ends here, okay? And now I set the work plane on grid A. I pick line again, and I have this grid line here. So I didn't notice at the beginning that this line goes all the way here. Okay, so I have to select this point, and I have to drag it all the way. Make sure that you select the point. Vaya. Okay, to select the point, and I have to drag it all the way. up to this midpoint. Okay, that's important. If we have beams that are not like this one continuous, it will be easier, but well, it will work, but make sure that these two lines have the same length, okay? They go from this point to that point there. Now I can select both, and I can create the form, solid, and finish the mass, and now that's the shape that I want. Okay, what's next? I have the mass, now I have to create the roof, and I have to move the roof 6 feet or 6 inches up. So let's go to massing and site, roof by face, select the mass, click create roof, and now we have created the roof, but you see that this happens because we have a lot of things on the same plane. We have the roof, we have the mass, so that's why we have this weird thing here. So we have to select the roof. If you can't, click here and filter just roofs. And move it 6 inches up. And now this is perfect. So we can do this time and time again. You can do the same thing here. Here we will have the same issue. You see that we have this beam that it's here. It starts here and ends there, but this is this one, it's a continuous beam. So I'm going to do it here again, just to, because if we look at this, now we have to go from grid A to grid B, okay? So that beam will be on grid A, and that beam will be on grid B. So let's do it again, massing and site, in place mass, set the work plane. So now the first is grid A, pick line, and I go to this beam, and I have to pick this line here, the midline there. Now I have to set the work plane again, and it's grid B. And if I click here, now you see that this beam or this line starts here. This can happen. To select the point and then drag it to the starting point of this beam here. No, that's not the starting point, but difficult. There. Nope. Here. And now I have to drag this point over there. Okay. I think it's correct now. So now I have to select both lines, this line and that. Be careful, that line. And now I have to create a solid form and finish the mass. So now I have to select the mass filter. I didn't select the mass. Filter, select the mask, apply. Now we have to go, well, first we have to go to masking and site, roof, select the mask now, create roof. And now I have to select the roof. Yes, the roof. And I have to move it 6 inches up. And now it looks good. If you have the same module, if you have the same field, so if you are smart when you are designing, you don't have to do this time and time again. If the module and the distance between columns is the same, you can select the roof. And if you go to the top view, or even better, if we go to level, let's say level 39, we have this roof here. If we click mirror, draw axis, we draw the mirror here, and we will have another roof there. Okay, so if the angles are the same, if the module is the same, you don't have to create the roof. You can mirror, and then you can do this faster. So you can select now this roof, and that roof, go to level 39, go to mirror, select this axis, and now we have 2 more roofs there. Okay, so you can do the same thing here. If you keep doing this shape, then you can mirror that roof. The one on the corner has to be different, but you can keep doing the mirror and work with this.